Hi, my name is Mackenzie, and I'm going to be talking about the independent comedy Rushmore. This was Jason Schwartzman's debut role and first major role. He was 17 at the time. When Bill Murray read the script for this movie, he wanted the role so much that he considered doing it for free. Instead, he settled for the minimum amount allowed, which was $9,000, which is a little crazy to think about considering that we always hear about these actors making a bunch of money for these films. Rushmore Academy was actually filmed at Wes Anderson's old school in Texas, and many of the stories from the script were inspired by Owen Wilson's private school experiences. I think that aside from all the amazing mise-en-scène that we see in this film, this is what makes it so awesome. Little facts like these would show how important this movie was for those who contributed. I mean, it was only Wes Anderson's second movie as a director, and his and Owen Wilson's second movie as co-screenwriters. I want to specifically focus in on Jason Schwartzman's character, Max Fisher, and Bill Murray's character, Herman Bloom. Schwartzman plays this very serious 10th grader who is kind of beyond his years, but is also immature in many ways. His costume kind of represents who the character is in a way. Most of the boys at Rushmore wear just their blue button-down shirts, but Max stands out because he goes all out with the entire uniform. His striped tie, dark blue jacket, and his pins for punctuality and perfect attendance. Even when he is expelled and goes to Grover Cleveland High School, he still wears the ridiculous uniform. Because that is who Max is, he's an overachiever in many ways. He's a member of countless number of clubs, but he isn't mature enough to balance things out because he is also failing every class. Mr. Bloom, on the other hand, is just this miserable, but very funny older guy. Even though he has so much, a business, a lot of money, and a family, he still admires Max because, in his opinion, Max has it all figured out. These characters are opposite in many ways, but they form an unlikely friendship, which creates a sort of distancing or alienation effect. Because so much of what occurs in this film is so unlikely, and these characters and their relationships with each other are so weird, it is difficult for an audience to identify with. You can't really talk about a Wes Anderson film without mentioning the cinematography of Robert Newman, who has done every Wes Anderson film. The film has a very soft lighting and appears very warm and natural. A majority of the shots are very symmetrical. The focal point will be in the exact center. Even if something in the frame is like moving and catches your attention, it will usually move but then stop back in the center. Like in the scene with Max and Miss Cross, these are in medium shots, and it switches from Miss Cross in the center at eye level to the same with Max. Max at one point gets up to sharpen his pencil. He walks down an aisle while facing Miss Cross, and still he stays central. In the exposition, it is established that Max is a student at Rushmore Academy and that he's an overachiever. In the inciting incident, Max was put on academic probation. With the rising action, Max tries to win the affection of Miss Cross, saves Latin, tries to build an aquarium, gets kicked out of Rushmore, and then starts at a new school, Grover Cleveland High School, leading to the climax, which here, Max basically loses his shit when Miss Cross and Mr. Bloom are having an affair and he finds out. Then, the falling action, Max versus Mr. Bloom duel. Miss Cross quits her job, Max matures and forgives and apologizes to the appropriate people, leading to the resolution, which is when everybody comes together to see Max's play called Heaven and Hell about the war in Vietnam. Thank you for watching my film analysis of Rushmore. I hope that you see the film if you haven't already.